Tony Bennett's coming to dinner. I have to make sure the floors are perfect. I've had a couple of bad falls in the last couple of weeks.
If you know how to cook for yourself, it makes you feel prepared for anything and less afraid.
For many years, Rachael Ray appeared in public as a symbol of joy and positive energy on American television. Viewers grew used to seeing her smile, speak quickly, cook simple meals, and create the feeling of a friendly neighbor standing beside you in the kitchen. But behind that bright public image was a series of losses that very few people knew about. In just a few short years, Ray experienced several major tragedies: the loss of a beloved longtime pet, her home destroyed by fire, personal belongings and memories wiped out by natural disasters, and the sudden death of a close friend in the television industry. For years, she chose silence and gradually stepped away from the spotlight. Now, at this stage of her life, Rachael Ray is finally beginning to reveal what really happened behind the scenes, and the full story behind that familiar television image may shock many people. Early life and rise to success. Rachael Ray was born on August 25, 1968, in Glens Falls, New York. She grew up in a family connected to the restaurant industry. Her mother worked as a restaurant manager, and her grandfather was an Italian cook. Food was a daily part of family life. Her childhood was not stable. Her parents divorced when she was young. Ray began working early to help support herself. She took small jobs in food service and grocery stores during her teenage years. During that time, she started teaching herself how to cook. She kept handwritten notebooks where she recorded recipes and cooking ideas. Those notebooks followed her for decades and became part of her personal history. Ray did not attend culinary school. Instead, she learned through work. In the 1990s, she worked in grocery stores and specialty food markets. While working at a store in Albany, New York, she began teaching short cooking classes designed for busy people. The classes were called 30-minute meals. The concept was simple: prepare a full meal in 30 minutes using basic ingredients. Local television stations noticed the idea. Soon afterward, the concept reached executives at Food Network. In 2001, the show 30-Minute Meals launched on the network. The program quickly gained popularity. Ray spoke casually, avoided technical terms, and cooked simple dishes that viewers could repeat at home. Her style was different from traditional celebrity chefs. The television success led to several best-selling cookbooks. She also built a growing brand that included kitchen tools, packaged foods, and pet food products. In 2005, Ray married John Cusimano, a lawyer and musician. The following year, she launched the daytime talk show Rachael Ray. The program aired daily and ran for 17 seasons. Over the years, it featured major guests, including Oprah Winfrey and Cameron Diaz. Ray and Cusimano divided their time between New York City and their home in Lake Luzerne, New York. For many years, her life appeared stable. She maintained a successful television career, a growing business brand, and a long-term marriage. By the late 2010s, Ray had built one of the most recognizable personal brands in American daytime television. Then, 2020 arrived. The global outbreak of COVID-19 changed daily life across the world. For Ray, it also marked the beginning of a series of personal losses that would reshape the next chapter of her life. A series of losses, 2020 to 2021. Fire, flood, and personal grief. The difficult period for Rachael Ray began in May 2020. That month, her longtime dog Isabeau died at the age of 15. Isabeau was a pit bull who had lived with Ray for most of her career. The dog frequently appeared on social media and occasionally on her television show. Ray often referred to Isabeau as a member of the family rather than a pet. The loss happened during the global disruption caused by COVID-19. Many people were isolated at home, including Ray and her husband John Cusimano, during that time. Pets often became the main source of daily comfort. Ray publicly shared the news of Isabeau's death with fans, describing the dog as a constant companion for 15 years. The death marked the first emotional loss in what would become a difficult year. 3 months later. In August 2020, a much larger disaster occurred. Ray and Cusimano were living at their home in Lake Luzerne, New York, a property located in the Adirondack Mountains. One evening, a fire started inside the house. Investigators later determined that the cause was creosote buildup inside the chimney connected to the fireplace. The fire spread quickly through the structure. At the time, Ray, Cusimano, Ray's mother, Elsa, and their dog, Bella, were inside the home. A neighbor noticed the fire and alerted them. They escaped the building before flames fully consumed the structure. More than 12 local fire departments responded to the emergency. However, the house was located on a steep hillside, making it difficult for fire trucks to reach the property. Only 2 departments were able to access the site directly. By the time firefighters contained the blaze, the main house had been almost completely destroyed. The physical loss was extensive. Ray lost personal belongings collected over decades. Among the items destroyed were childhood notebooks containing handwritten recipes she had kept for nearly 40 years. Cusimano lost original music recordings. Ray's mother lost personal letters and family documents. Several paintings and personal photographs were also destroyed. Ray later described the loss as the disappearance of evidence of a life. Despite the destruction, Ray continued producing her daytime show, Rachael Ray, with professional studios closed during the pandemic. Filming moved to a guest house on the property. Cusimano helped operate cameras and recording equipment so the show could continue. The arrangement allowed production to continue, but it also meant the couple handled much of the work themselves, just as they began recovering from the fire. Another disaster occurred the following year. In September 2021, the remnants of Hurricane Ida caused severe flooding across New York City. Ray's apartment in the city suffered significant water damage. Water flooded sections of the apartment and damaged several structural features. Ceiling speakers failed. Parts of the fireplace system were damaged. Sections of wall and interior materials had to be removed and repaired. Ray later described the apartment as if it had melted within roughly 12 months. She had experienced 3 major personal losses: the death of a longtime pet, the destruction of her primary home by fire, and serious damage to her city apartment due to flooding. All of this occurred while the world was already dealing with the disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite these events, Ray continued working and maintained her television schedule. However, the series of disasters showed how quickly physical possessions, personal history, and daily stability could disappear. Leaving a long-running career, 2023. The end of an era. After the series of disasters in 2020 and 2021, Rachael Ray continued producing her daytime television program, Rachael Ray. The show had been on air since 2006 and had become part of daily television in the United States. But the circumstances around production had changed. The pandemic forced many episodes to be filmed from home rather than in a traditional studio. Ray and her husband, John Cusimano, often handled filming equipment themselves. The routine that had once been supported by a large production team became smaller and more personal. During this period, Ray began speaking about wanting a different pace of work. In early 2023, she confirmed that the show would end after its 17th season. The final episode aired on May 24, 2023. The closing episode included messages from several longtime friends and guests. Among them were Oprah Winfrey, Cameron Diaz, and 50 Cent. Each appeared in recorded segments reflecting on their time with Ray during the show's long run. Production of the final episode faced unusual challenges. Severe winter weather disrupted filming conditions, and internet connections repeatedly failed during the recording process. Much of the work to complete the episode relied on Ray and Cusimano working directly with the equipment in their home environment. When the show officially ended, it closed a 17-year period in which Ray had appeared on television almost every weekday, publicly. Ray explained the decision as a move toward creative independence. She began focusing on a new media venture called Free Food Studios, a production platform designed to create food-related shows and digital content outside the traditional daytime television format. However, the decision also reflected deeper changes in her life. For nearly 2 decades, Ray's daily television show had defined her professional identity. Ending it meant stepping away from a routine that had shaped her public presence and career structure. Once the program ended, Ray appeared far less frequently on television. She spent more time working on smaller projects and dividing her life between different homes rather than maintaining a daily broadcast schedule. Online speculation quickly followed the announcement. Some internet discussions suggested hidden conflicts or professional problems behind the decision. However, Ray never confirmed any scandal connected to the show's ending. Instead, her public comments focused on personal priorities and the desire to control how and when she worked. The change marked a clear turning point after 17 years as a constant presence on daytime television. Rachael Ray moved into a quieter phase of her career, one that placed more distance between her personal life and the constant exposure of daily broadcasting. Health concerns and online rumors, 2024 to 2025. Silence during the storm. In September 2024, a short video featuring Rachael Ray began circulating online. The clip came from her series Rachael Ray in Tuscany, which she filmed while living part-time in Tuscany. In the video, some viewers noticed changes in her speech. Ray appeared to pause between words and occasionally slur parts of sentences. Within hours, the clip began spreading across social media platforms. Comment sections quickly filled with speculation. Some users suggested alcohol use. Others suggested neurological illness. The discussion spread widely across communities on Reddit and Instagram. Ray's team did not provide a detailed response. Representatives answered questions with a simple statement: no comment. Ray herself did not publicly address the speculation. The lack of explanation allowed rumors to grow. Online discussions continued analyzing short video clips and small speech patterns. 1 month later, in October 2024, Ray made a comment that added another layer to the conversation. During an episode of her podcast, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, she mentioned that she had experienced a couple of bad falls. She explained that the accidents had limited her ability to do certain physical tasks. Ray did not describe the exact circumstances of the falls. She did not provide medical details. However, the comment immediately triggered new waves of speculation online. Some internet users suggested possible medication side effects. Others proposed neurological conditions. None of these ideas were confirmed. Most of the discussion came from social media users attempting to diagnose her from short clips and brief comments. In effect, thousands of strangers began acting as amateur medical commentators. The speculation continued into 2025. In May 2025, the British newspaper Daily Mail published a report claiming that people close to Ray were concerned about her well-being. According to the report, members of her personal circle believed she had become more isolated in recent years. The article described Ray as spending more time at home and limiting public appearances. Ray did not directly respond to the article. However, she has previously spoken about her relationship with online criticism. In earlier interviews, she admitted that she avoids reading negative content about herself on the internet. At one point, she mentioned discovering a website called I Hate Rachael Ray. The experience made her reluctant to search for her own name online. For that reason, she rarely responds publicly to internet rumors. This silence created a difficult situation. Each new video clip or public appearance generated more speculation. Without direct clarification, The discussions continued to grow across social media platforms. For Ray, the pressure was not only about health rumors. Many of the personal losses she experienced in earlier years had already been deeply private. But the modern internet environment turned every detail into a topic for public debate. Small moments became viral clips. Short comments became headlines. Personal struggles became online speculation. The result was a situation where private challenges were constantly examined by millions of strangers. During this period, Rachael Ray continued to keep most details of her personal life out of the public conversation. Her strategy remained the same: limit explanations, avoid online debates, and focus on smaller projects away from daily television exposure. The sudden death of Anne Burrell, June 2025, a deep personal loss. In June 2025, another personal tragedy struck Rachael Ray. Celebrity chef Anne Burrell died suddenly at the age of 55. Burrell was widely known for her work on Food Network and for co-hosting the cooking competition show Worst Cooks in America. According to early reports, Burrell suffered cardiac arrest at her home in Brooklyn, New York. Her husband discovered her in the bathroom and called emergency services. Despite the response, she was pronounced dead shortly afterward. The news spread quickly across the culinary and television communities. For Ray, the loss was deeply personal. She and Burrell had known each other for years through their work in the food television industry. Their professional collaboration on Worst Cooks in America eventually developed into a close friendship. Ray was present during some of the most important moments in Burrell's personal life. In 2021, when Burrell married her husband, Ray served as a bridesmaid during the wedding ceremony. Before the wedding, Ray also helped organize Burrell's bachelorette celebration in Europe, which included time spent in Tuscany, only 6 months before Burrell's death. She had appeared as a guest on Ray's podcast, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. During that conversation, the two discussed cooking, career changes, and life outside television. At the time, nothing suggested that Burrell's life would end so suddenly. After the news became public, Ray shared a tribute on Instagram. In her message, she wrote that she was shocked and heartbroken by the loss. She described Burrell as a strong and energetic person and said she could not believe someone with so much life could be gone so soon. The message stood out because Ray had spent the previous years avoiding public emotional statements. This time, however, the loss was too personal to remain silent. For someone already recovering from multiple disasters and personal struggles, the death of a close friend created another emotional setback. Burrell had been part of Ray's professional world and personal circle at the same time. Her death also reminded many people in the industry how quickly circumstances can change. For Ray, the moment exposed a rare glimpse of vulnerability. She had spent several years keeping most personal struggles private. But the loss of Anne Burrell briefly opened a window into the emotional weight she had been carrying during this period of her life. Professional uncertainty, October 2025. A risk to the future. After ending her long-running daytime show, Rachael Ray attempted to rebuild her career through a different model. Instead of returning to traditional television, she helped launch Free Food Studios, a media production venture focused on food programming and digital content. The company operated through a partnership with A&E Networks, which reportedly held a 50% stake in the venture. The project aimed to produce a large amount of content across multiple platforms. Early plans included the production of more than 278 episodes of food-related programming, along with an additional 110 shorter digital episodes designed for online audiences. The goal was clear. Ray wanted more control over her work after leaving daily television. However, by October 2025, new uncertainty began surrounding the project. Reports emerged that A&E Networks could be placed up for sale by its parent companies, Disney and Hearst Communications. If ownership of the network changed, the future of projects tied to the company including free food studios, could also change. This situation created a risk for Ray's new platform. The company had been designed as a path toward independence, yet its foundation still depended partly on a major corporate partner. At the same time, Ray began appearing more frequently in public again. She returned to New York City to host several live events and participate in industry gatherings. These appearances suggested she was slowly re-engaging with the public side of her career. However, some projects connected to her new platform showed signs of delay. Her podcast, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, which had launched as part of her new media strategy, began experiencing irregular release schedules. Episodes appeared less frequently, and production slowed, taken together. These developments created a sense of instability around Ray's next professional chapter, after stepping away from daily television in search of greater control over her work. Rachael Ray now faced the possibility that the structure supporting her new projects could change unexpectedly. Conclusion: tragedy, resilience, and the quiet strength of Rachael Ray. Looking at the past several years of Rachael Ray's life, the pattern is clear. A series of events reshaped both her personal life and public career. The losses came in different forms. In 2020, she lost her longtime dog, Isabeau. Months later, a fire destroyed her home in Lake Luzerne, New York. Personal belongings collected over decades disappeared in a single night. The following year, flooding damaged her apartment in New York City. Later came waves of internet speculation about her health, along with the sudden death of her close friend Anne Burrell. Each event removed something from her life: memories, stability, privacy, or friendship. Yet these experiences also changed how Ray approached the public world. Instead of responding directly to every rumor or online debate, she chose distance. She limited explanations and avoided social media arguments. In an era where many public figures respond immediately to criticism, Ray took the opposite path: silence and privacy. Her story also highlights a larger lesson about public success. For years, Ray appeared to have a stable and successful career. But the events after 2020 showed how quickly circumstances can change. Homes can burn, relationships can end suddenly, and personal health can become a subject of public speculation. Success does not remove vulnerability. At the same time, Ray's life shows another reality. Tragedy does not automatically end a career or a life's work. Today, she continues working through projects connected to free food studios while dividing her time between Tuscany and New York. Her marriage to John Cusimano remains a constant partnership, with both often collaborating on creative projects. The pace of her public life may be slower than it once was, but she has not disappeared. Instead, the recent years appear to have reshaped her priorities. The focus has shifted from constant visibility to a more controlled and private rhythm of work and life. In that sense, the tragedies surrounding Rachael Ray did not simply break her public image. They forced a transformation, one that replaced constant exposure with a quieter form of resilience.